As the world of AI continues to grow and become more easily accessible, the impacts of this rapidly evolving technology can be seen around the world as those at the top are trying to catch up. Lawmakers in Europe have signed off on the world's first set of comprehensive rules for artificial intelligence. The European Parliament vote held on Wednesday was one of the last steps before the rules become law. This comes as authorities worldwide are racing to rein in AI, and the legislation could act as a model for other places working on similar regulations. Meanwhile, the growth of AI is drawing lots of interest in the investment space. But is this just another craze following the popularity of ChatGPT, or is this the beginning of a new world of investing? With us now to discuss this in our weekly Caldwell Securities segment is Brendan Caldwell, director at Caldwell Securities Ltd. Brendan, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Always good to be back, Nima.
So as we mentioned, Brendan, people are rushing to invest in the AI sector, but is this like the dot-com bubble or crypto craze that we've seen in the past?
Yes, but not in the way you mean it. But crazes have gone on since the railroads and gold mines. The enthusiasm always outstrips the reality for a while. When you talk about the dot-com craze in the 90s, it was said, and I've said on this show before, that people said, well, you can't make money on the internet. Well, nowadays you can't make money unless you're on the internet, practically speaking. So the enthusiasm always gets out ahead, but then there is consolidation, and then there is rationalization. But eventually the technology, and frankly, even the crypto that you are alleging as being a bubble, yeah, a bubble bursts, come down, and then between the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain, I think there will be a new technology that comes out of that transforms the way we do business. But it takes up to 40 years. I know sounds a ridiculously long time at our age to actually see it mature. I mean, from where we were in the 90s, it's now 30 years on to get to the point where we're looking for the next great thing, which probably will be artificial intelligence in some form.
And when we think about integrating this technology, I know we spoke a little bit about how individuals are using ChatGPT back in February, but how about companies, Brendan, specifically those in the investment industry? How have they been using AI to adapt and grow into the future?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge because I think it will still be a while before people ask a computer, what should I do with my money? The computer comes up with an answer and people invest that way. It's not quite as serious as flying a plane, but while planes are flown, most of the errors are due to human errors, but still people don't want to fly on a plane that's just piloted by a computer any more than they want cars on the road that are just piloted by a computer. I think for at least a little while, human beings are still going to be an important part of the equation in terms of actually making another human being feel understood. I think the biggest hurdle in our business for helping people to invest appropriately is helping them to articulate their hopes and needs and dreams and fears. And if done well, that can lead to a good investment program and policy and regimen. I don't know that AI has yet learned to properly empathize. So until it does, I think the human element will still be an important part of the investment business.
All right, Brendan. Now, another thing to consider are these regulations that are likely to emerge as AI becomes more of the norm. So how do you expect regulations, especially the ones that we mentioned that are being approved in Europe, how do you expect regulations to impact investors?
I think it's interesting that the Europeans are trying to regulate how something that is inherently unregulatable, which is the development of technology. If you say, well, not in my backyard, and I was thinking as you were reading that introductory segment, well, good for the English, because the British will be able to do their own thing if Europe is using regulation to hold back this development. There's been some calls in the media for a moratorium on the development of AI, and I saw Terminator in the theaters. I'm old enough to have done that. So yeah, nobody wants Skynet to get self-aware, but the idea that we're going to, in one little jurisdiction, even a jurisdiction as large as Europe, hold back the development of a technology because we're not sure what it's going to look like, seems to me that that ship has long since sailed.
From the sounds of it, we've got lots to look forward to, Brendan. Thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about the developments in AI in the near future.
Thank you, Nima.
All right, we'll be right back. And after the break, we're going to be taking a look at a potential retirement crisis in Canada and what that could look like. Stay with us.